Richard Sherwin is a business development and marketing strategies consultant for a long list of companies, including Verizon, IBM, Intel, Best Buy, Panasonic, Sony, and it keeps going. All small businesses, right? He's a syndicated columnist and analyst for Digital Family Advisor, and he's been an editor-in-chief for several consumer and trade magazines in the technology field, and a personal finance and business reporter for the New York Daily News, WOR Radio, and the Chicago Tribune Syndicate. He was also a college instructor and lecturer at New York University, Touro University, and St. John's University, teaching business and marketing journalism. His nationally recognized focus groups gauge actual perceptions and responses from customers before, during, and after product launches, and the results from these focus groups have been responsible for the dynamic and successful marketing and application changes in some of the most popular technical products and services introduced in the last 10 years. We are fortunate to have him here in Palm Isles. And the talk today is the changing wireless spectrum and how it affects all of us. Let's give a hand for Richard Sherwin.
Thanks. I have some products here that are in everyday life. This looks like a bicycle helmet, except this bicycle helmet, only a month ago when we showed it at the computer club, has changed in 5 weeks. It's upgraded, so God forbid you fall. It calls your doctor, it dials 911, and on top of that, while it's doing that, the fun things, it will play music, it will play anything, and soon it will have a little camera, so when you're not driving, you'll be able to see things on it. This changed just in the 5 weeks since the computer club. And the technology, I'll tell you what's running.
It's up. Do it.
Okay. Hello?
Okay.
This is a top-selling grandkids kids product. It's virtual reality from a company called Merge. Very affordable, under $75. Looks innocuous. With the upgrade, this is for adults, because this too will go straight to a hospital. The doctor will see what you see. And of course, if you're not doing it for that, the games on here are free and work on your cell phone. A cell phone. Okay? This is an LG cell phone. Howard, lower the volume. Sorry. It's okay. Everybody has their iPhone or their Samsung Galaxy. This is a little newer, a little better, about the same price. The difference is this LG phone in February will have a technology built in called 5G. Some of you already have a 4G phone, and some of you already have 4G in your home. .4G is the next, what are you saying?
Can't hear, the mic is...
How about that?
Yes.
Okay. So 5G is the next great technology. It's already being tested in parts of Florida, New York, California, and Texas. 5G stands for fifth generation cellular wireless. The difference between this wireless technology and what you already have is this wireless technology will eventually replace your modem in your house. This will replace technology that's built into the car and has more power than almost any technology we see. Within 2 years, Palm Isles and where I live back east will have fiber to the home. Some of you might have Fios. 5G is 5 times faster than Fios. So the picture you're seeing is better, the sound is better, and here's the best part, since I do handle complaints. You won't have to call any customer service because 5G has a direct connect to your house. Even Comcast will have 5G. But the best part about this is that it'll actually cost less. Some of your bills now, I've seen here from Comcast, can be as much as $200. And even our basic bill that's built into our maintenance takes about $50 of your maintenance. Well, with this, it should wind up being half. This all sounds like good news, but it's not all good news because the Federal Communications Committee, the Federal Trade Commission, which granted this license to Verizon, to AT&T, soon to Comcast, to Charter, to what used to be Time Warner is now called Spectrum, everybody is battling over this because there are slightly different technologies involved. So the 5G that Verizon is testing in Texas transmits at a different speed than what AT&T is testing in Atlanta. Why does this affect us? Is because the implementation of this might mean some slight incompatibility. But when the government sold the rights to this transmission, it sold it on the basis that these companies would install 5G, not just for your cell phone, but for your TV and even your appliances and the rest of running your home. I've seen 2 examples of it in New York City press conferences, and I was muchly impressed by one thing, is that the operation from the headquarters is so simple that before you're calling that my bill is wrong, I'm not getting the right internet speed, my phone doesn't dial, or my answering machine doesn't work, it detects this. It has something like 980,000 proof points. And that doesn't, whether you're using AT&T 5G, Verizon 5G, or soon to be Comcast 5G, it doesn't matter. That's built, that's what the FCC and FTC said it has to have. It was experimented with 10, 20 years ago, and it was too costly to implement. Why is it going to be rolled out quickly? Is because we already have cell towers, and we already have cable built into places like Palm Isles, or if you live in a high-rise back east. So implementation is basically taking a 5G transmitter, putting it up there. I watched an amazing thing that everybody who has this so-called networked home, I don't know one person, even my friends at Popular Science or Consumer Reports, who have these network homes, doesn't have a problem every 1 or 2 hours. Something is not compatible, something requires a phone call, and then the experts have to call an expert. With 5G, the examples that were shown to me, you won't need that. Many of you actually have 4G in your phones now. A certain portion of those phones will automatically upgrade in March. March for Verizon, April for AT&T. Unfortunately, 80% of the phones you have will not upgrade. You'll have to buy this new LG V40, or actually Apple will not have it till later on, and Verizon and Samsung's Galaxy phones and Motorola will have it as early as February. I looked at some of the projected prices, so maybe your next phone that you were going to upgrade, it will not be that much money. However, 5G implementation into your washing machine, your dryer, your microwave oven, your heat, your blinds, that's another story, because that's going to require some kind of professional installation. In the cities that it's being tested, obviously they're not charging the people, but the early information that I got from PC Magazine, from Consumer Reports, and from friends I have at the FCC said that the estimated cost may be as little as $40 for the size of an apartment, maybe $60 if you have a big house. It's not a lot to get technology that allegedly is so much better than everybody else's. We have a lot of arguments for and against. Of course, the FCC and FTC are making a lot of money from all our service providers, so they're endorsing this. The investment community has already put a lot of money behind it. They're investing in companies like D-Link, which has a modem that you'll be able to buy or get from Comcast or go to Best Buy or obviously Amazon or Costco. So the investment companies are saying they usually wait 5, 6, 7 years till technology is accepted. They're already investing. Bain & Company, which notoriously was always early, again is early, they put something like in one of these modem companies, $100 million almost without a bet and without a trial. So I think when companies like do that, that means this is going to be a serious implication. However, many consumer groups want a slower development. They're calling this technology conceivably more dangerous than when you got your first cell phone. Health advocates, they say because there's an unknown power source and an unknown transmission source that this could be more dangerous than anything that's been implemented. The cell phone companies, to their credit, are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to see if there's any other dangers in here that we don't know about. The actual product manufacturers are further along because they can't get a license to make the chip in there without passing certain health and safety tests. My experience with this technology, when I left journalism to go to IBM and then Lucent and Philips, these were the biggest cell phone technology makers. And my job was to go back and forth to the Netherlands, to Europe on the other side, and to the US, because Europe was always ahead of us, and Europe had stringent tests for this stuff. Even when we did a side job for the early Comcast, it wasn't even called Comcast then, we hired a guy at Philips to be in charge of this. This 6'8" guy who was a big technology doubter, but he was a great salesman. His name was Bob Fort. And there's people in the audience who have heard of him because he's run many companies. Bell Atlantic, Philips, eventually back to Comcast, and now he does private investment in Florida. Bob was 6'8" and never, ever had his cell phone away from his ear. Even we showed him more safety-conscious ways of using a headphone or Bluetooth technology. To this day, if you see Bob, he still has it in his ear. That's what he's comfortable with. Interestingly enough, he is still 6'8" and still healthy, and at the age of 68, still plays basketball 7 days a week. And again, he was a big doubter of 2G, 3G, and even 4G. And he believes in this technology now too. Bell Labs, maybe the company that created the first 1G and still exists under a different ownership now. Bell Labs in New Jersey, as we speak, is running a specialized 24-hour test with hospitals and other administrations, because the nice thing about this 5G is that it will help in medicine. You'll be able to transmit information to your doctor from anywhere, maybe with some of these devices, maybe with no device. And the nice thing is, hospitals, as much as we may not trust them all the time, they don't want to allow something that could conceivably have carcinogenic attachments to it. And so far, 3 of the biggest New York hospitals, a very famous Houston hospital, are already experimenting with 5G coming from your home and transmitting. Now, I want to harken back to something I said before. I still have trouble, like everybody else does, in making sure I'm getting the best TV picture, or the best sound, or fighting with Alexa. The nice thing about 5G is I don't think you're going to have to fight. I think it will, once it's implemented, will slowly but surely take over everything you're doing without you knowing it. And you'll just know that your products are working faster, better, and easier. And again, any of this stuff is already on the website, digitalfamilyadvisor.com, where you can see some longer explanations, both pro and con, because there are certain health groups that are going to continue to fight this until there's even more tests. A company called Safe Space Protection, which worked with other consumer groups, they think it's safe, but they don't want it implemented this way because technically 2 years from now, it will be in every home, every restaurant, every hospital, every police station, and they're wondering if this overindulgence of this technology could be something that can't be tested now. So if you go to their site, you will see some more negative aspects of it. But for a technology that I fought with and against when I was with Philips and at IBM, this seems to have the least amount of naysayers, whether it be from scientists or marketing people. I spoke to, that's not up here and will be on the website later on, I spoke to people from Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, and Spectrum, which is what used to be Time Warner. They've all taken a careful approach, but I have never seen such a unanimous endorsement of a technology. Is it inevitable? Maybe not. Maybe people won't spend the extra $100 or $40 for a phone or a new modem. But I think it really helps, and it takes us to it is the first jump, whether it be 1G to 2G to 3G to 4G, it is the largest technology jump that we've had in any wireless technology. And it's replacing wired technology. And on top of that, the implementation to install, whether it be on a tower or in your home, is quick and easy. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, will something like Simply Safe, which is wireless technology, be able to be used then without changing, or that's going to require testing?
No, those companies that are using a regular server or are using any other Wi-Fi, it'll be up to them whether they want to go and go to that level of technology.
Okay, but if your phone is 5G, and so it won't affect how they transmit to your phone?
No. It's backwards compatible, meaning it will run everything that came before, but your present phone is not forward compatible. So if you get a 5G Motorola phone for $100, I think there's a deal that Consumer Cellular in March is going to sell this to its mainly senior citizen group. It's not going to be sold at a too high a level, and it'll just, with a chip, it will replace it. And it's almost the same chip you're using now, it just does a lot more things. General Electric and LG have already built it into their upcoming refrigerators, washers, and dryers. And again, companies like that don't want to spend a lot of money, so the implementation is literally sliding whatever chip they're using now. If you're one of those people who has a see-through refrigerator, this will do the same thing. Maybe it'll do more. Maybe it'll tell you whether it's healthy or not to do. Now, if you see my thermos here, well, I'm just kidding, but somebody showed me a demonstration that from 5,000 miles, you can heat this or cool this without any wires. But that was a lie. So it's much more reliable than Bluetooth. Yeah. The demo I saw in New York, it didn't leave for a second. Bluetooth, I use every day, and I have people in the audience here who still ask me, Cliff, are you still here? He's still moving with an expensive Bluetooth device because it's never been settled. This spectrum, not only will it be settled, but it'll be, fully operational. Any more questions? Sir?
Could you elaborate about Apple? You mentioned Apple, some of us just bought the latest technology. Are we stuck? What's the
No, the Apple 10X, the one that sells for about $1,000, does have a slot for 5G. Apple is saying no, but we took one apart because it's a Verizon phone and an AT&T phone. It will be easily upgraded. They're just not saying it can. Yes, Joe. I'm not supposed to say this, but the Comcast people told me that they'll probably use fiber to the home first, and then 5G afterwards. So within the next couple of years. Within the next couple of years.
By the way, if you're eligible, you get a new modem with 5G on it.
Correct. These companies, you'll either buy it from Best Buy or you'll get it like you have now. There's no change. The box is different. Yes, sir.
Could you explain a little bit about the generations, how the mechanics work, and are satellites involved in it?
This is one of the few technologies that the satellites are not involved in it. It is a cellular spectrum, a channel, like what we know the channel 4 watching TV. This is like channel 4 million on cell phones. So it doesn't work against, for instance, I understand Sirius XM, which only runs on a satellite. They're trying to see how they'll be compatible with this. The bounce from tower to tower, from home to home, is much more powerful, so maybe it'll even replace some satellites. But I don't know that. Yes, sir? This has a much better backup. This, to run a battery backup, will run, and I'm quoting what I saw in New York, will run 5-6 times more battery life to run these things. Also, it'll have a much quicker notification to the head end, to the service provider, that the power is out. Yes, sir?
Where does LTE fit in on the generation spectrum?
LTE for AT&T is on the new 5G. And there are some doubters that think that that makes it slower, but it's their own version of LTE. LTE is what the newest phones use. And why they came up with those letters, I don't know. When I was there, when it first didn't, we voted it down, but the suits if they like LTE. Yes, ma'am.
Would you recommend that if some of the subdivisions are negotiating with Comcast that we don't do more than a 5-year contract because of technology rather, I mean, some of them were 10-year contracts.
All the Comcast condos from here in Palm Beach County all have a 5 and 10 ruling. We don't have one yet, and I am sure we will make sure that is in there. But there's already fine print in the ones we've seen that show that if they wanted to go from cable to fiber to 5G, we will be protected. And believe me, they want it. So there's not going to be an extra charge for it. Yes, ma'am.
Comcast is doing fiber optics in the next 2 years.
Yes.
In this community, and eventually it will be 5G. 5G does not work on fiber optics. So does it, or?
It can work together.
All right.
Remember, Comcast is also now a cellular phone company with Verizon. So they will have to make it work together.
So could we eliminate the fiber optic part and just go to 5G?
No. No. I have not seen one community ask for that. Because fiber is so good. Fiber is very reliable and will be working in 10 years from now. Yes, sir.
What is the risk with this new technology to hack?
Virtually impossible.
Hack into a home?
No, because unless you're the federal government, you're not monitoring this spectrum. That's another reason this is going faster than it was supposed to. Will I guarantee it? I don't guarantee anything. But believe me, at Bell Labs in Princeton, New Jersey, there hasn't been one crack, and that they're looking for that. And remember, that Bell Labs is not a commercial company. It's not AT&T or Verizon anymore. It is a publicly funded company. And I think they'll find out. All right, if that's it, I'm Richard Sherwin. I know those ladies asked me, am I the one running in Palm Isles 1? Yes, I'm the same Sherwin. There's another Sherwin whose his first name is Sherwin. I'm not him. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
As a token of appreciation, another award for you to hang on your wall, made out to Richard Sherwin, and his topic, the changing wireless spectrum and how it affects you.
Thank you very much.
Right, you're